I'm Gideon, and my life seemed perfect at 45. Married to Hannah for 22 years, a bright daughter named Catherine, a cozy home in Portland, Oregon, and a solid career. But what happens when the American dream crumbles overnight? Can you lose everything you love in a single storm? Watch my story to find out how one layoff unraveled my family, exposed hidden truths, and forced me to rediscover who I am. Welcome to Addy Story, where we share real-life stories that touch the heart and inspire the soul. Subscribe now to join our community, relax, and dive into the stories we have for you. Enjoy. At 45, I was married to Hannah, 42, for nearly 22 years. Our daughter Catherine was just 18 then. We resided in a charming 4-bedroom home, nestled in a neighborhood in Portland, Oregon, where lawns were tended with care and neighbors exchanged friendly waves, an embodiment of the American dream. I held a steady position at a management consulting firm. No, not one of the giants like McKinsey, but still worthy of respect. I earned a solid $120,000 with bonuses on top. 2 cars sat in the driveway, my Lexus, a simple company perk, and Hannah's almost new Honda CR-V. Nothing extravagant, yet they held stories untold. Every year we escaped, California's sun or Colorado's thrill, chasing adventure in fleeting moments. Catherine received her own car upon graduating high school. A simple Toyota, yet steadfast and dependable. Hannah took a part-time job at a chic downtown boutique, not out of necessity, but for the thrill of it. The employee discount was her true treasure. The job aligned seamlessly with her life, allowing her to attend yoga 3 times a week and still savor lunches with friends. In hindsight, I funded her world, believing it brought us joy. But was it real happiness? Catherine had just begun her freshman year at a state university in Eugene, a mere 30 minutes from home. She craved the college life, yet every weekend she returned home to wash clothes and empty the fridge. She was brilliant, excelling in school, pursuing a degree in marketing or communications, one that promised endless possibilities. Pride swelled within me as she boldly pursued her desires, while family dinners still filled our home with warmth. We gathered at the table each night, sharing the highs and lows of our days. Hannah vented about the nightmare customers. Catherine spilled the tea on her classes and roommate chaos, while I recounted hilarious client tales, keeping identities under wraps, of course. We laughed endlessly, and I felt so fortunate. So many others lacked what I had: a stable home, financial security, and a family that truly cherished each other. Without you two, I'd be lost. I often said it over dinner or during our movie nights. Hannah's hand found mine, a warm squeeze that ignited a spark. Catherine's eyes rolled, but a smile betrayed her amusement. "Dad, you're so cheesy," she'd say, but her smile revealed the truth. She wrapped her arms around me in that half-hearted way, a fleeting connection masked by cool indifference, yet the longing was palpable. Catherine's friends flocked to our house in high school, drawn by something unspoken yet magnetic. Hannah prepared the snacks while I ignited the grill on weekends. Our basement was complete, featuring a large TV and a pool table I had rescued and restored with my own hands. I was the fun dad, always cracking jokes, yet vigilant, ensuring the kids stayed safe from real danger. Back then, money was a distant thought. We weren't wealthy, but we had enough to feel secure. I had a solid 401k, stock options from my job, and we were just a decade from being mortgage-free. I planned to grind until 64. Then Hannah and I would shed our old life, find warmth, and savor every moment of retirement. Back then, my greatest struggles were mundane: fixing the deck, debating a bathroom remodel, or contemplating the boat I'd long desired. Just typical first world struggles, huh? Hannah and I were far from flawless. We fought like any couple, over trivial things: my late nights, her shopping sprees, and the tattoo debate for Catherine. I accepted it. Hannah and I seemed to agree on the major issues, or so I believed. I truly believed we would share a lifetime. In my mind, we're on a porch in Savannah, Georgia, rocking gently, silver strands in our hair, hands intertwined, eyes on the grandkids laughing in the yard. It was a familiar dream, yet it belonged to me. Then everything fell apart. A different storm, not the 2008 one we survived, but a fierce, targeted blow that struck consulting firms deeply. Clients pulled back, projects vanished, and layoffs began to haunt my company. At first, I felt no fear. 15 years in, I had landed major clients and felt irreplaceable. I had faced layoffs before, even delivering the crushing news to my own team. It's painful, yet I believed I was safe. I told Hannah, with a smirk, "They can't touch me. I know their darkest secrets." She laughed, a hint of worry in her eyes, and suggested we might need to cancel our summer trip to Aspen just to be safe. "Absolutely not," I insisted. "We've earned this, and we can handle it." I had no idea what was about to hit me. That day is etched in my mind. Wednesday arrived, a day heavy with the weight of impending bad news. As I toiled over my presentation, a message from George pierced through my focus. Could I come to his office? Just for a moment. I thought it was about the Thompson account or something like that. As I stepped inside, HR awaited me, a storm brewing in the silence. In that moment, clarity struck. "We're restructuring the department," George said, avoiding my gaze, a coward in every sense. "Your position is gone, erased, as if I were nothing but a pest. 15 years sacrificed, endless weekends lost, every family moment traded for work, and this is my reward. Erased." They delivered the same tired corporate spiel, praising my contributions, insisting it wasn't personal, just business. Empty words echoing in the silence. I could hardly catch it. A folder with severance details. 6 months' pay. Seemed fair, until the job market hit me. Then, HR showed up, ready to escort me to my desk, as if I might take something that wasn't mine. Carrying that cardboard box past my team felt like a dagger to the heart. Their expressions were a whirlwind: shock, fear, and a chilling relief in some eyes, as if they were grateful it was me facing the storm, not them. It's just how we are. I stumbled home, lost in a fog. At 2 p.m. on a mundane workday, I drove home, a box of discarded desk items weighing heavy in my trunk. It felt like a dream, surreal and haunting. Hannah was out with friends when I returned home, leaving me alone at the kitchen table, grappling with the chaos of what had just unfolded. Hannah walked in, and the moment she saw me, her eyes widened. She sensed it. Something was deeply wrong. "Why are you home so early?" she asked, dropping her 3 Nordstrom bags, each one heavy with the weight of $500 worth of choices. I had no idea then how significant that moment would become. "I was let go," I stated, devoid of emotion. Her face flickered through 5 emotions in 3 seconds. Shock, confusion, sympathy, worry, and then something unnameable, perhaps fear. What did you say? Why not? How could they? She asked, her voice trembling as she sat down across from me. I shared my limited knowledge, restructuring, budget cuts, last in, first out. But I wasn't last in. I was just too costly. They could take my place for a fraction of the cost. What are we going to do? She asked, her tone making it clear that we meant you. I'll find another job, I declared, masking the uncertainty within. The severance offers a fleeting moment of respite. We will survive. Her nod was there, but doubt lingered in her eyes. The first month was a challenge, yet bearable. I approached the job search with relentless determination, rising at 7, showered and dressed for success, dedicating 8 hours at the kitchen table to apply, network, and reconnect. I once had a LinkedIn profile, untouched and unfamiliar, and now I find myself diving into its depths, learning everything anew. Asking for endorsements and recommendations felt strange, yet I pushed through and did it. Hannah was there at the start, coffee in hand, whispering hope that I'd soon discover my place, that any company would be fortunate to have me. As the weeks stretched on, devoid of offers and filled with fruitless interviews, her spirit began to shift. It began with tiny moments. She spoke of a friend's husband, suddenly jobless, who landed a new position in just 2 weeks. She let out a heavy sigh as she opened the mailbox, her heart sinking at the sight of yet another stack of bills. She began to leave out dinner invitations from our couple friends, and it stung. She seemed ashamed of having a husband without a job. By month 3, our savings dwindled. I axed all subscriptions. We ditched cable, and eating out became a distant memory. I took on all the cooking and cleaning since I was home, but instead of gratitude, Hannah's eyes burned with resentment at my constant presence. "Isn't there somewhere you need to be today?" she'd inquire, as if I were just a kid sprawled on the couch. Every single day, I was sending out job applications. The true blow hit when Catherine suddenly needed cash for unexpected college costs. A textbook, a lab fee, just a few more burdens to bear. It was just $200, but when I told her we had to watch our spending, Hannah erupted. "This is exactly what I feared," she screamed after Catherine hung up. "We can't even stand by our own daughter now." "It's just for now," I insisted, fighting to keep my composure. "We're not destitute. We're simply exercising caution." "How long is temporary?" she demanded, her voice trembling with urgency. 3 months have passed. "Which jobs did you apply for today?" And so, we embraced our new reality. She hovered over me, treating me like a child, demanding updates on my job hunt, pushing entry-level roles or options far from my expertise, insisting it was better than nothing. One night, I saw her staring at our bank accounts, her face etched with worry. "We're fine," I insisted, even as the numbers slipped away. "The severance stretches on, but I'll secure something before it runs out." Silence enveloped her as she shut the laptop, retreating to the solace of her bed. That's when she began working extra shifts at the boutique. Out of nowhere, she found herself buried in late nights and weekend shifts. Relief washed over me. We needed the money, and it freed me from her endless disappointment. I should have sensed the danger lurking beneath the surface. The boutique shut its doors at 7, yet she returned home at 10 or 11, lost in her thoughts. Her clothes and hair were flawless, a stark contrast to the exhaustion of retail hours. And there it was, the scent of cologne, not hers. I brought it up, and she snapped, walls rising high. "How dare you accuse me while I'm out there fighting for us because you won't?" that silenced me instantly. Guilt consumed every thought. Here I stood, doubting my wife as she took on extra work, a painful reminder of my own failures as a provider. That was my perspective back then. Desperation clawed at me by month 5. The severance was slipping away, and I had 2 hopeful interviews that both concluded with the crushing words, "We've chosen someone else." 15 years in one place left me feeling stale to some, while being 45 made me seem too senior, too old to others. I began seeking jobs beneath my qualifications, ready to accept a steep pay reduction. Nothing was working out. The day I applied to drive a delivery van for a local shipping company in Salem marked a deep low in my life. It offered barely a fraction of my previous earnings, yet we needed the money, and driving a van was within my reach. Called for an interview, offered the job the same day. Relief washed over me. Money would flow again. Yet shame clawed at my heart. After decades of hard work, this was my destination. I delivered the news to Hannah that night, hoping for a flicker of joy in her eyes for my discovery. "A driver of fate? Is that really your answer?" She spat the words, her disgust unmistakable. My life has spiraled into the unimaginable. It stung deeply. "What do you need from me, Hannah?" I screamed, my composure shattered. "The bills loom, demanding attention. Would you prefer I let it go and risk losing our home? I wish you would discover something that truly values your experience," she said. "Did you call George to check if they'd take you back? What about Henry from the golf club? His company never stops seeking talent." I couldn't take it anymore. I just walked out of the room. There's no use fighting when someone has made up their mind to be let down by you. The van job began the following week. Early mornings, endless hours, relentless driving, and grueling lifting. My body ached, each step a reminder of the toll. I returned home, drained, back screaming, feet throbbing. It was real work, and the men beside me were good souls. Hannah and I were locked in a relentless battle. She'd throw out jabs about my job, questioning when I'd land a real position, lamenting the scent of cardboard and sweat that clung to me each evening. Every time I brought my uniform home, she treated it like a toxic relic, her disdain palpable. Catherine felt the weight of unspoken words each time she returned home. She noticed the tension between us one weekend. "Just overwhelmed by money worries," I replied, holding back the weight of adult burdens. "Is it really that bad?" she asked, her eyes filled with concern. "We're holding on," I promised her. "Let it go. Concentrate on your studies." But it all spiraled into chaos. After a month of driving the van, a relentless headache pushed me to my limits. My supervisor, sensing my struggle, finally granted me an early escape. The day had barely begun. I drove into the driveway, my heart racing as I spotted a black Mercedes, completely out of place in our quiet Portland neighborhood. I wondered if Hannah had a customer from the boutique visiting. As I swung the front door wide, laughter echoed from above. Hannah and a man's voice intertwined in the air. My stomach plummeted. I discovered them in our bedroom, just sitting on our bed with wine glasses, far too at ease with one another. He towered over everyone, sun-kissed skin glinting, a watch on his wrist that likely outvalued my entire car. Hannah leaped to her feet, her cheeks flushing crimson. "Gideon, you should be at work right now." He rose, effortlessly composed, extending his hand as if we were at a corporate meeting. "Kenneth Walsh, a true honor to meet you." I turned away from his touch. "Leave my home now." "Gideon, please don't do this," Hannah interposed, a barrier between our worlds. Kenneth and I were deep in conversation about investment opportunities. He believes he can save us. Can you save us? I laughed, a sound bursting forth, raw and unrestrained. Is that really what they call it now? Kenneth's smirk pierced through me. Your wife has impeccable taste in everything, except for husbands, it seems. Rage consumed me. Step outside, feel the world, embrace the moment. Once he was gone, Hannah faced the truth head on. What were you hoping for, Gideon? You've surrendered. Kenneth possesses drive and a network. He can offer the life you promised, but never delivered. How long? I demanded. 3 months, she confessed, chin held high, pride in her voice. And he's asked me to move in with him. Are you ready to go? All right, but don't think you can take away half of what little we have left. Her laugh pierced the silence, chilling the air. Believe me, I won't be relying on you again. She relentlessly pushed, branding me a failure, her shame palpable as she spoke of my current job. My world shattered the moment she invaded my space and spat at me. I seized her arm, pulling her toward the door with urgency. Leave and never return. That night, she walked away with 3 suitcases and her precious jewelry. In the silence of the kitchen, I grappled with the shattering reality of 22 years gone in an instant. The following day, I reached out to Catherine, determined to share my side before Hannah could twist the story. Mom really did that? Her fury ignited the moment I spoke. She's involved with a guy named Kenneth. She's taken the plunge, living with him now. I can't believe this. Catherine's voice trembled, heavy with tears. How could she betray you like that? For us? Your mother chose, I said, weariness heavy in my voice. This is the wrong one, Catherine exclaimed, a fire in her eyes. I stand with you, Dad. It meant everything to me, more than she could ever understand. I expected Hannah to manipulate Catherine, wielding the college money like a weapon, but my daughter shocked me. That weekend, Catherine returned and plunged into the chaos with me, canceling Hannah's credit cards, changing Netflix passwords, tackling all the bitter remnants of our divorce. Having Catherine there felt like a lifeline, a silent promise of support. We don't need her, Catherine would insist, slicing through my despair. We're stronger without someone who runs when the going gets tough. I attempted to be just, assuring Catherine that her mother still cared, that this was an adult matter, but Catherine refused to accept it. She shattered our family, Dad. I refuse to act like that's acceptable. After Hannah's departure, it was only Catherine and me navigating the chaos together. I had to let go quickly. My delivery driver's salary couldn't sustain the house any longer. I discovered a modest 2-bedroom rental in a fair neighborhood in Beaverton. Simple, yet it offered shelter and running water. Catherine was extraordinary in those moments. Every weekend, she returned from college, diving into packing, cleaning, and tossing away the clutter. She accepted the smaller space and let go of her belongings without a word of complaint. It's just things, Dad, she'd reply, her voice steady, even as the weight of the moment hung heavy between us after my countless apologies for her cramped visit. We have each other. Money was tight, but we survived. Long hours behind the wheel, while Catherine juggled a part-time job at the library, all while navigating her sophomore year. She was willing to sacrifice everything for us, but I couldn't bear to let her go. I won't budge on your education, I said to her. We'll find a way. Weekends were ours. She at home, cheap pizza on Friday nights, movies flickering on my old laptop. Saturday mornings, we scoured garage sales, hunting for treasures we needed. We scored a solid couch for just $50. That summer, Catherine dedicated countless hours to help me chase better opportunities. She sat at our shaky kitchen table, poring over my resume, scouring job sites. "It's valuable, Dad," she'd urge, her voice trembling with conviction. The perfect chance arrived, unexpectedly, and it changed everything. A smaller consulting firm in Boise extended an offer. It's not as prestigious as my previous role, but the pay surpasses driving, allowing me to finally utilize my true skills. I could have a nicer place, perhaps even stash away some cash. A year after my divorce, life seemed brighter, until Hannah began calling Catherine. Catherine might turn away or end the call, yet Hannah pressed on, unwavering. "She's still my mom," Catherine said, caught in a moment that felt heavy with unspoken truths as I discovered her texting Hannah. "I'm reaching out to assure her I'm all right." I disapproved. Yet Catherine was 19, undeniably an adult. "Just be careful," I warned her. "Your mother has a knack for distorting reality." I was blissfully unaware of my accuracy, nor the speed at which everything would unravel. It began with a simple lunch invitation from Hannah to Catherine, then blossomed into weekend visits. I hated it, but what could I possibly say? Hannah remained her mother. Catherine transformed before my eyes, slowly yet profoundly. She returned, arms laden with luxury, shopping bags from high-end boutiques, a sleek new phone, a designer purse, and thoughtful gifts from Hannah and Kenneth. She spoke of their downtown condo in Seattle, the breathtaking view, the lavish dinner parties. "Mom's off to Napa Valley next month," Catherine casually dropped one night over our frozen pizza. She revealed the resort to me. "It's breathtaking." Her gaze pierced through me. Our humble meals and worn furniture paled against the dazzling allure Hannah displayed. "I know you can see her anytime," I said, forcing a calmness I didn't feel. "I understand, Dad," she replied, yet everything felt different. Each visit pulled her further from me, a slow, painful drift I could feel with every return. A chasm widened between us, her gaze measuring my life against hers, revealing my shortcomings. She'd glance around our cramped apartment, her face a mix of emotions I struggled to identify, until pity, perhaps embarrassment, finally surfaced. It shattered me within. My daughter, my unwavering support when all others vanished, now gazed at me as if I were a warning sign. I convinced myself it was temporary, that the allure of Kenneth's wealth would fade, and she'd rediscover what truly mattered. Yet, beneath it all, I felt her slipping away, entranced by the life Hannah and Kenneth offered. What's the most painful part? I was no match for it, not in terms of money. Love and stability were all I had, yet it still fell short. Catherine returned from the girls' trip, funded by Hannah, and avoided my gaze completely. "Dad, I need to talk," she said, her hands trembling. "I've been considering moving in with Mom and Kenneth for a bit." I stood still, stunned as if struck. "Why not?" Her response shattered my heart. "Kenneth holds the keys to the industry I yearn to enter. He's offered to help me secure an internship." But she paused, uncertainty flickering in her eyes. "Honestly, Dad, it's a bit humiliating to bring friends here. This place feels cramped. And the neighborhood? It's just humiliating," she said again. "Gideon, I've been working tirelessly to give everything I have. You understand exactly what I mean." "I understand." But she scanned our tiny living room. Mom and Kenneth's guest room dwarfs this entire apartment, and they reside in Belltown. Is that all there is? So you're picking opulence instead of devotion? Don't you dare make me feel guilty for wanting nice things, she snapped. You're exactly what Mom warned about. Trapped. Settling for less. My gaze locked onto her. Those words pierced me, a haunting echo of Hannah's departure, twisting like a knife in my chest. I stayed calm. No shouting. No fighting. I simply stated, if that's your feeling, perhaps you should leave. She left the very next day. Kenneth arranged for a car, no ordinary vehicle, but a sleek black Lincoln, complete with a suited driver. I peered through the window as he packed her suitcases into the trunk. Catherine stood on the sidewalk, phone in hand, her gaze never lifting to my apartment. In an instant, my daughter was gone. The void she created screamed in her absence. Each time I passed her vacant room, a sharp pain pierced my heart. Some nights, I'd sink into the couch, beer in hand, eyes fixed on the wall, lost in the ache of my mistakes. Was I meant to suddenly find wealth? Did I let my pride win? Those first few weeks without Hannah were unbearable. I'd find myself cooking for two, or laughing at something and thinking, I need to share this with Catherine, only to be hit by the painful reminder that she's gone. Thanksgiving arrived, and I found myself with a frozen turkey dinner for one, sitting alone at my kitchen table. I scrolled through Instagram, seeing Catherine, Hannah, and Kenneth at a fancy restaurant in Denver, all dressed up and smiling like a picture-perfect family. That night, I drank too much for the first time in years and woke up drowning in regret, my body aching and my heart heavy. Hitting rock bottom sharpens your vision. I understood I couldn't continue this way, suffocating in regret and despair. If Catherine and Hannah had let go, perhaps it was my turn to do the same. I immersed myself in work, clocking extra hours, tackling the unwanted projects, anything to distract from the hollow echo of my empty apartment. Exhaustion cradled me to sleep, while the relentless challenges distracted me from the chaos of my life. It may not have been healthy, but it was a fight for survival. The consulting gig thrived. After just 6 months, I was promoted and began saving money once more. I got new clothes, hit the gym, spruced up my apartment, and even started dating. Clumsy coffee encounters and dinner dates that fizzled into nothing. Everything changed when I met Julia, the woman from my building. In the laundry room on a Saturday, we began to talk. An ordinary start, yet everything changed in that moment. Her authenticity shone through, her kindness unwavering, and she embraced me, car and all. She endured her own torment, losing her husband to cancer, yet still found a glimmer of hope in life. After years of doubt, a flicker of hope ignited within me. I caught whispers of Hannah and Catherine through our shared friends. Catherine landed the internship thanks to Kenneth's connections. Hannah orchestrated company parties, a mere pawn in the game of appearances. They appeared blissful in their flawless existence. 2 years after Catherine left, Hannah's frantic call shattered the silence. "It's your fault," she screamed as I picked up the phone. "You made her betray me." "What are you saying?" I asked, my mind racing with confusion. Amidst the tears, the truth spilled forth. Hannah returned from the spa, only to discover Kenneth and Catherine entwined in his bed. For months, they had been hiding in the shadows. "He claimed to love her," Hannah cried out, "that she's vibrant and thrilling while I'm fading away." It hit hard, just like the moment you chose him over me. This feels unique. She is my daughter, and I was your husband for more than 20 years. She dared to ask if she could stay with me while she sorted her life. I couldn't help but laugh. No, Hannah. Please, just listen. You chose Kenneth, and now Catherine is facing the consequences. Gideon, please. She pleaded, desperation in her voice. I'm out of options. He's kicking me out. Hannah faded from my mind after that call. Life persisted. I poured myself into work, cherished moments with Julia, and sought to rise from the ruins of my past. Karma quietly weaves its threads while you chase your life. 6 months later, I discovered Kenneth had taken a 20-year-old model into his life, moving her in without a second thought. Catherine stood alone on the street, mirroring her mother's fate. It wasn't Catherine who told me. It was the sight of her at my door on a stormy night that revealed everything. The knock came at 11 p.m., unexpected and chilling. Peering through the peephole, I saw her. Mascara streaked down her cheeks, designer clothes drenched, clutching that pricey suitcase Kenneth likely gifted her. In that moment, something within me froze. Father. Her voice trembled as I opened the door, reminiscent of a frightened child hiding from storms. Please, just let me stay a moment longer. I know I don't deserve it. A fleeting hesitation gripped me, but her words echoed. You're trapped in comfort, drowning in mediocrity. Her gaze swept my apartment, a flash of disgust before she walked away. I recalled her choice. Luxury eclipsed loyalty. Wealth overshadowed family. I was firm. You don't deserve this, I declared, slamming the door shut before her stunned expression could register. I paused, heart racing, as her sobs pierced the silence beyond the door. She pounded again, urgency clawing at her heart. Dad, I'm lost. I need you. Try your mother, I urged from behind the door, or one of your glamorous friends from Kenneth's world. No one is coming for me. She wept bitterly. Dad, please. I shrugged, turned my back, and left the door behind. She pounded on the door for 10 relentless minutes before surrendering to silence. Harry, a guy from my building who worked at a diner downtown, revealed the truth about her. My heart raced. A week after she appeared at my door, he spoke of a girl who seemed to have emerged from hell, desperately seeking a waitressing job. Soaked in rain, the pricey fabric clung to her, wrinkled as if she had surrendered to sleep in them. He claimed the manager felt compassion and offered her the job immediately. His words painted her vividly, and in that moment, I realized it was Catherine. For days, she slept in her car, washing up at the gym with a day pass. The diner job barely covered her rent for a run-down room in a shady shared house in Tacoma. Hannah's choices haunted me. She buried herself and dragged Catherine into the darkness. A year later, a call from an unknown number pierced the silence. It had to be Hannah. Gideon, we haven't talked in ages, but I'm in deep trouble, she started, skipping over any concern for me. My sister's selling her house. I need a place to go, and time is running out. I need to ask you for a favor. Could you lend me some money? I severed the connection. It's not going to happen, Hannah. Gideon, please. Her voice trembled with urgency. I'm empty. Kenneth walked away with everything, leaving me empty-handed. Silence. No help, no safety net, just emptiness. Isn't it strange how that happens? I remarked. You abandon your husband of 2 decades for a wealthy man, neglecting any legal safeguards, and then you're shocked when he discards you. I acknowledge my failures. Errors, I cut in. Is that your idea of spitting in my face and branding me a loser? Turning our daughter against me with poison? Those aren't mistakes, Hannah. They're choices. Her tears fell, but I remained unmoved. I had shed all my tears for her. Did you speak with Catherine? I inquired, intrigue gnawing at me. She confessed, no. Her silence cuts deep. Last I heard, she was serving tables, lost in the crowd. What a disaster. A chaos of your making, I told her. Take care, Hannah. I ended the call. I later discovered from a mutual friend that Hannah was at Macy's in Tucson, living with two divorced women in their 50s. Kenneth has left the model behind, now with wife number 4, a 20-year-old yoga instructor. He's stuck in his ways, forever unyielding. Life pressed forward. Julia and I exchanged vows in an intimate courthouse ceremony in Salem, 2 years after everything changed. At times, Catherine would cross my mind, and I'd feel a sharp pang of curiosity about her well-being. Even as the anger waned, pride held me back from reaching out. One day, in the grocery store in Bend, our carts collided in the produce section. "Dad!" she gasped, eyes wide with shock. She had shed pounds. The designer outfits vanished, leaving only basic jeans and a humble sweater. I nodded. Words caught in my throat. A heavy silence enveloped us. At last, her voice broke the silence. "I've wanted to call you 1,000 times," she whispered, "to apologize once more. After you turned me away that night, I thought you were finished with me forever, and I couldn't fault you for it." I shrugged, a silent storm brewing within. "Your choices are set." I agreed, she accepted, and then I faced the fallout alone. Her voice held no accusation, only a stark truth. A textbook peeked from her bag, hinting at untold stories. Still in school? Her head dipped in agreement. Community college, pursuing my associate's degree in marketing. I toil at Miller's Diner in Gresham to make it happen. Genuine effort, I declared, and I truly felt it. There I stood, my shopping cart frozen, torn between the simmering anger I'd held on to and an unexpected urge to reach out once more. I turned my back, her shame echoing in my mind. Sometimes I wonder how my life would have changed if I hadn't lost my job all those years ago. But then I understood that it didn't create the events. It merely exposed the true nature of people. Hannah would have moved on, drawn to someone with greater wealth or influence. Catherine faced harsh truths that cut deep. What about me? I had to discover that my value isn't defined by my paycheck or position. Hitting rock bottom reveals your true self. Sometimes, karma strikes with flawless precision. For anyone facing a similar struggle, know that it will improve. Sometimes, you must allow others to reach their lowest point before they can rise again. Sometimes, you must plunge into darkness to discover who truly belongs in your life. Thanks for watching this story on Addy's Story. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like, share, and hit that subscribe button so you never miss a new tale. Stay tuned for more. And until next time, take care and keep living your own amazing stories.